See you,
What's
Peter.
the view and the feeling in your electorate at the moment? We've got new restrictions that are coming into place today, and also stage 3 restrictions are coming into place in regional Victoria.
Well, Peter, good morning, and good morning to all of your viewers around Australia. And look, there's a sense of despair in Melbourne this morning. A quarter of a million people have lost their jobs this week, and it's very cold. It's miserable. People are genuinely concerned. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people are very angry too. A lot of people are very angry because they know that this second wave hasn't been caused by the failures of the Victorian people to adhere to various rules. This has been caused by the greatest failure of public administration in the nation's history, and that is the inability of the Andrews Labor government to manage hotel quarantine and then to appropriately contact trace the thousands of new cases. I mean, what scares me is, yes, we have 6,500 active cases in Victoria, but there's 2,500 cases where the government literally has no idea how people contracted the virus. So it's literally everywhere, and they don't know. They've lost control of it. And that's what worries me.
What's your thoughts on the delay to the inquiry now, Tim?
Well, this is a complete outrage. I mean, they've pushed back the delivery date, if you like, for the report by Judge Coate to the 6th of November from September. So they've delayed that. And interestingly, yesterday, Judge Coate told the inquiry that there is no reason why a politician can't comment on the hotel quarantine fiasco, which means that every time that Daniel Andrews and Jenny Mikakos, the Health Minister, get up at a press conference, or indeed in Parliament, as you saw earlier this week from the Health Minister refusing to answer questions, which was completely disgraceful, that whole line now has been blown up. They can't say that anymore. So I'll be very intrigued what Daniel Andrews and Jenny Mikakos say at today's daily press conference when they're obviously going to be asked about hotel quarantine. So they can't hide behind this inquiry any longer. They're going to have to answer the question. And they can't simply say, wait till November. And I tell you, if I hear another journalist or another part of the media say, oh, now's not the time to hold this government to account, we need to wait, I might scream, Peter, because, I mean, people are furious. I mean, people are losing their jobs, their livelihoods. People are dying because of this disaster. And we want some answers, and we want them now.
You must be worried too. I mean, the forecast in today's Australian, Tim, it's an exclusive story by Dennis Shanahan, which says that he's got modelling, or he's got Victoria's modelling that suggests that numbers are going to spike at the end of next week. They're going to get to about 1,100 cases a day, and that is reportedly what the Victorian government is going off, which would in itself suggest that those stage 3 restrictions didn't work.
Well, we want this to work. I mean, we're going through all this pain, so we desperately want it to work. My great fear is that everything that this government has done since June has not worked. Everything they've done, everything they've touched has frankly turned to disaster. So in reading that this morning, and I've also seen modelling, I've had modelling sent to me from a number of sources that would indicate that we're far from flattening the curve. In fact, quite the opposite, as Shanahan's reporting this morning, we're going entirely the wrong direction. So let's all pray that we somehow get this thing under control. But I've got no confidence in Daniel Andrews and Jenny Mikakos to get us through this. And I mean, heaven help us if we've got some of the we're one of the hottest hotspots for coronavirus in the Western world. I think only the United States and Israel, per head of population in terms of the developed world, have greater caseload than Melbourne at the moment.
Just want to get your thoughts on whether you think there are tensions behind the scenes when it comes to the health department. I mean, you've got Brett Sutton, who's gone off on leave at the moment, and this follows Annalise Van Diemen being moved as well.
Well, Van Diemen had to go. She had to go because that tweet, despite the fact that you're entitled to your view, of course, when you're a senior public servant wielding more power over our lives than ever before as the Deputy Chief Health Officer, you can't be tweeting about political matters. And she had a long history of tweeting against the federal Liberal government. So she was clearly a political activist of some description. That's fine, but not when you're in the middle of a pandemic. So she's been moved. She's no longer the Deputy Chief Health Officer. She's in the department still, I think. But they've got rid of her, and that was appropriate. Sutton's gone on leave. Look, I have some sympathy for him. He's obviously been working very hard. He's got some things wrong. He's got some things right. I do note that if in the middle of the bushfires, the Secretary of the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet, you recall the outrage that the Prime Minister went to Hawaii for a couple of days, and he wasn't even directly responsible for bushfire management. You can remember the absolute outcry that occurred over summer when that happened. So I wonder if the media today will have a similar outrage here in Melbourne. I doubt it. But Sutton has worked very hard. I don't think anyone should. I think the guy is entitled to some time off, but probably on the weekend.